Alright, this video is going to be looking at how we find a fraction of a fraction. So previous video we worked out how we can find a fraction of a whole number. Now we want to get into finding a fraction of a fraction. So I've got the key points here which I'll get you to write down. So first, what you need to do in the steps, write mixed numbers as improper fractions before multiplying. I'm going to show you an example of that next. Replace of with x, so we should have worked that out in our previous lesson. You need to then do the cancelling method, which I'll show you an example soon. Then all you do is multiply the numerators together, multiply the denominators together, and then simplify further if necessary. So let's just use this example here that we have on the side here. So we have 3/4 of 4/5. So the way that we'd rewrite this, as I've already done, is 3/4 times 4/5. That's basically what that means. Now first we want to do is our cancelling. So cancelling means, again, if I use our symbols here, anything, the two opposite ones, so the numerator and denominator from those angles, and the numerator and denominator from that angle there, so the opposite sides of the fractions. We're going to find a common factor. Now 3 and 5, there's no common factor between them, they're too small, but I know that 4 and 4 have a common factor of 4, so how many times does 4 go into 4? Obviously once. How many times does 4 go into 4? Obviously once. So now I have a new set of fractions now, which is 3/1 multiplied by 1/5. So and all I need to do now is multiply the numerators and the denominators together. 3 times 1 equals 3. 1 times 5 equals 5. So that's how you find a fraction of a fraction. Remember that we do the cancelling process to simplify it early, so we're not dealing with such big numbers. Now I'm going to show you how we can, if we need to do mixed numbers, or how we do with mixed numbers. Alright, let's look at how we can multiply mixed numbers. So the first thing that we need to do is write mixed numbers as improper fractions before we multiply. So 4 as a whole, we know that we can just turn that into 4/1. And we need to change this one into an improper fraction. So the way that we do that, we multiply the whole number by the bottom number and then add the top. So that would 2 times 20 is 40 plus 3. This will be 43/20. Denominator stays the same. Okay, so now we've got a fraction that we can multiply together. Let's see if we can cancel out. So obviously we can't do 1 and 43 because you can't use 1, but we know that there's a common factor between 4 and 20, which is obviously 4. So how many times does 4 go into 4? Just once. How many times does 4 go into 20? That's going to be 5 times. So I now have a new fraction of 1/1 times 43/5. So I can just multiply numerator and denominator together now. So that basically I'll get simply 43/5. Now what you want to do, we don't want to leave that necessarily as an improper fraction, so I want to turn this into a mixed number. So how many times does 5 go into 43? I know that will be 8. That's going to give me 40, which will leave me 3 left over. And there's my simplified version by finding a fraction of 4 times 2 with 3/20. So that's how you find a fraction of a fraction. Make sure you write down these steps here and then we'll practice as we go through.